Hello. Well, welcome back to Creative You Podcast, where exciting things happen at this yarn shop. Lots of knitting, lots of crocheting, lots of things to finish up winter and usher in spring. I hope you've been doing well. It's me and my dog here this morning. The shop is not open yet. We just finished celebrating St. Patty's Day. My husband and I, our house is still all torn apart from the broken pipe. And so yesterday we went shopping to look at cabinets and flooring and all. You know what? There's so many choices. That's how people feel when they come in here. They feel completely overwhelmed. And I get it. So many choices. Do you want this drawer or that drawer or pull-out drawer? And where do you want it? And what kind of wood do you want? And what kind of stain? And then there's all kind of prices. And so that's where we are. We can't get any more work done until we make our choices. But I'm here to show you some beautiful things. There is a knitter that comes into the shop. Her name is Diana Rasmussen. And she has been knitting a long time. And she does amazing things. And she has lent me some of her things to share. She also really doesn't like to buy patterns. She likes to figure them out herself. I'm looking for a picture of her here to show you. And she's very good at figuring out patterns. And I have encouraged her to write up these patterns. So there is Diana with a blanket that she designed. And I am encouraging her that the sun is like trying to come out and then it goes back in. I find if I lean forward, there's more light, but then the sun goes in and then it doesn't look that great. So we'll do our best to do this podcast. This is a blanket that she designed. It is very soft. It's done with Babe 100, which is a Euro yarn. It's a sport weight acrylic yarn, and I am just amazed at how soft it is. And then she took the Lion Bonbon in the colorway crayons and put these beautiful stripes in. She has a nice edging here on her blanket, and this is for future grandchildren. But isn't it just gorgeous? And wouldn't you love to see this pattern written up? So I can just picture a little one snuggled up in this blanket. So I will keep encouraging her to write up this pattern so that it can be released, hopefully. And there's all kind of colors: yellow, orange, hot pink, maroon, purple, turquoise, lime. Just gorgeous. And I mean, what adult wouldn't like one of these blankets? A blanket is one of the nicest gifts. People who knit or crochet blankets tell me that they get compliments for years to come. Diana's friend Nancy that comes in, and I've shown you some of Nancy's patterns. Nancy wanted to do some intarsia, and I found this little quote at Knit's End. And the quote by Edgar Bergen was, "Hard work never killed anybody, but why take a chance?" Intarsia is pretty cool, but its downside is that when you are finished, there are a multitude of ends to weave in. We all wish there was some way around this, but sadly, there's no way to do intarsia without ends decorating the inside like shag carpet, which we looked at shag carpet yesterday. I would advise you to weave in as you go, as I've learned from my mistakes. The last time I did intarsia, when I left all the ends until I was finished, then overwhelmed by the sheer mass of ends, I suffered a fit of apoplexy and denied all knowledge of the sweater. I will remember that weaving in as I go increases the odds of having a finished project. Well, as I was looking for a project for Nancy, I came across this pattern. Glenwood Scarf by Janeen, Janeen, Puckett, Puckett. It's a pattern you have to pay for, and it is called Reverse Intarsia. And Nancy said that it is challenging, but she's hanging in there with it. And this is a picture of what she's accomplished, and the end looks gorgeous. And that photo really doesn't show the beautiful choices of yarns that she put together to do that. She picked a solid, she picked a speckled, and she picked the same yarn that she did for that really pink vest that she had, but it's a cotton merino, so you get this really pretty semi-tonal look. So in light gray, that's her background. Then she has Cascade 220 Superwash Aran. That's her solid, the maroon. And then she also has the Cascade Aran, but it's a speckled. And I wish that that photo really showed how amazing that all looks together, but it just looks like 3 solid colors. Hopefully when she's finished, I can get some more photos, or maybe even talk her in to letting me show it. So this wonderful, very lightweight, I bet this only weighs ounces, shirt, which is wonderful to wear. You can wear it over a tee or over a tank. This is the pattern, Janista. It's done with Juniper Moon lace, and would you believe that this is a 1 skein project? If you use the variegated yarn, it's $30. If you use the solid, it's a $25 project, and it is a high quality yarn, 50% silk, 50% merino. And if you want to do this project, contact me here at the shop. I have lots of colors. And so, on to the show. Diana took some sock yarn, and she had seen a Marina Bem shawl, and she just said, you know what, I'm going to fiddle around. And this is the beautiful asymmetrical shawl that she came up with. And isn't that so nice? Wow. And I bet that was really fun watching all those colors come out. And I'm not sure of the yarn. There was also a yarn in the shop. It's just small skeins. I think it's a Trendsetter yarn with sequins on it. And Diana kept eyeing this yarn up, eyeing it, and finally she said, that's it, I'm going to buy it. It was pricey, but it's actually soft, and she did a drop stitch pattern. Look how pretty. Look how pretty. So that is one of her creations. When I met her, she had made so many things in her life, and I said, are you taking photos of these things? And she said, I should be. And I said, yes, you should be. This looks like Close to You by Justina Lord. Close to You shawl. I'm stumbling through the last name. But this again was a sock yarn. And she said that she gets lots of compliments when she wears this. And so they are Diana's things, and thanks to Diana for sharing her beautiful things with us. The little shawlette that I have on, I'm not wearing it to a good, this is with Juniper Moon Niev. Has a really nice diamond pattern, and it could be worn multiple ways. Sorry, I know I lean back and then the sun fades. This is with Juniper Moon Niev, which is 100% cotton. It is soft. It's a worsted weight, and it has a little like chain. The yarn is chained by a machine. That is Niev. I finished the Robin Blue hat that I was working it out of Debbie Bliss Riva. I must have gone through 30 buttons looking for the perfect button, and that is what I decided on. So this hat is a free pattern. You start at the bottom, then you bind off your stitches, and then later that your button gets sewn on. Lots of lovely colors. Honestly, the brilliancy of the colors does not show up the way it should. All that I have to do is get that button sewn on, so I don't want to let the day go by that I don't have that button sewn on. This yarn, Katia Top Rainbow, is a really soft cotton acrylic blend with 4 strands that gradually change. So you might start out with 4 light purples, and then it goes into 1 dark purple and 3 lights, and then 2 dark purples, and this is crocheted. And this is called Wrapped in Warmth by Kathy Lashley. And you can see my colors changing. I'm now at the darker purple. I have all this yarn left. You get 880 yards. I haven't even gotten to my pinks, but in the pattern, I'm getting ready to start the lacy edging. So I'm going to keep going. If I did this, I would have a nice little bandana effect, which that would be cute. And maybe I will make one just like that. But at this point, I think I'm going to keep going. I could, I guess, make 2 of the shawlettes out of this yarn, and I would get 2 very different projects, but I think I'm going to keep going. Okay, I've gotten some new yarn in, gotten some cashmere yarns in. This is called Placid. It's a super bulky 60% cashmere, very, very soft. Wow, would I like to make a little bunny rabbit out of this, or little baby booties. But what I'm doing is a pattern called Hoa, and I like this designer. She reminds me of my one granddaughter. Every time you take pictures, she won't show her face. And her dad said one day, you know, one day you're going to grow up and there aren't going to be any pictures of you. But it's a neat pattern. We've been doing this with a crochet hook. It seems easier to pull up from rows down below. But that's the pattern. And I have so many repeats of that to go. And then I'm up into the... almost looks like maybe a reverse stockinette stitch. So that's called Hoa. That'll be done the next time I do a podcast. A little bit more crochet. I found a free pattern called Daisy Booties. I am using Ella Rae Lace Merino in the lace weight. And I don't think that you can see it very good, but the daisy stitch is really neat. And this is tiny yarn, but you have like a diagonal stitch that goes up, and then you chain 1. You go in to the top space and the next space and the next space, the next single crochet, the next. You get 6 stitches. You pull a loop and pull it through all, which gives you this diagonal kind of little starburst. So I would like to see it done in heavier weight yarns, and there you can see it a little bit. And when I get these finished, I'll show you. Just kind of a plus for some good books. I think these are still available. The Sweet Gum Ladies. You could probably get these at libraries. I really, really like these books, and I was sad that they didn't keep going. Beth Patillo is the author, because you really get into each one of these ladies and their lives and what's going on. They're all so very different. And the last book left wide open for another book, and it didn't happen. So that's the only downside of the Sweet Gum Ladies. So if you can get those, I highly recommend them. Also, for crochet, we do a crochet along every month, and I really like Mon Petit Violon. I guess that's how you say it. And this is one of her pay patterns called, one is the Butterfly Shrug, and another one, there's two that we're doing. There's some of the directions, and her patterns go up to size, I think it's 4 to 6. There's the flutter sleeve one, and I've only gotten, we're doing it with Butterfly 10, which is 100% cotton, and this is where I am so far. It's been a very easy crochet. I had some problems with the directions, so I wrote to the designer, and she's told me what I need to do next. So from this point on, I expect it to really fly. Doing it in spring colors for spring babies, and I'm hoping to do both of the patterns, the flutter sleeve shrug, and the other one is the butterfly something shrug. And I'm also doing her spider slipper. So lots of crochet going on. My grandmother years ago used to crochet an Afghan for every grandchild and then every great-grandchild. And I remembered there was this Afghan that she did where she did every row and then tied off the yarn and then started again. So she was never really working on the reverse side. I do have a book about two-ended hook crochet. So you're never really working on the reverse side, and I want to explore that. But I found the Afghan that she did. They now call it Groovy Gan. And I found one of the blankets that she made, and I think she would just use up scraps. And so this was her Groovy Gan, and there's her little ties at the end, and it's in great shape even though it's been around for a long time. So if any of you are thinking about doing the Groovy Gan, that's what it is. And you can use up all your scraps, and as long as you have enough to get one row. So, okay. I think I've covered most of the things for today. We're all happy about spring being in the air. We had some warm weather and then some cold weather. The tulip bulbs are coming up, and you know, we got more cold weather, but you know, what can I say? Here's the snow that we had. Oh, snow. And there's one of my brand new students, Andrea, after finishing a crocheted cowl. Lately, I've been getting a lot of crochet students. This is Kirsten learning crochet. And more snow pictures. There's my little girl walking around out in the snow. Covered. So it's hard to believe that that's only been like 2 weeks of 2 weeks of snow walking around the neighborhood.
And it's making music.
Yeah, we had this big snowfall, and the next morning when you walked outside, it sounded like music. It was amazing. It was like an orchestra going on all around you. So before I close, there's one more picture of the neighborhood. That's our backyard. We have to get Ellie to say hi to everybody. Come here, Ellie. Come here, girl. Come on. Come say hi to everybody. Come on. Come on, girl. Don't be lazy. Come on. Come here. Come here. Come here, Elle. Come here, baby. Come here. People tell me they like when she makes a guest appearance. Come here. Come here. So, she's trying to get up here to say hi. Here's Ellie. Ellie is very much in need of a haircut. She, all of a sudden, she'll just grow out and get all scruffy. And she's been suffering from allergies. But there's our girl. Yeah, say hello. So, remember, whatever your situation you're in, high or low, God's with you. And keep that smile and keep your joy and don't let anybody take it from you. And shine, baby, shine. Signing out, Catherine Kirby.